Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Trading a Smaller Account. My name is Barbara Armstrong. I'm a coach with Charles Schwab and delighted that you guys are all joining me today. So welcome to a new week in the markets. Things are looking up, my friends. And, Friday we looked at stocks that were going sideways and how we as traders might be able to take advantage of that. We placed 2 iron condor trades, and then we did a collar on another position. What we're going to look at today is things that are moving to the upside that have maybe pulled back and are bouncing. And we're going to look at swing trades, and we're going to look at swing trading using stock and swing trading looking at using long calls. And I've got a whole bunch of examples lined up. So that is what we're up to today. So buckle up because we have a lot to cover, as we always do. This is an intermediate level active trading class. And what that means is we cover a lot of ground quickly, we place a lot of trades, and we follow up on a lot of trades. So we've got about 10 trades to look at today. So I hope you are ready. If you aren't following us on X, you are missing out, my friends. My handle at Barb Armstrong CS. We have the privilege of having Connie Hill with us in the chat. She is a friend and a fellow coach and a Brigham Young football fan. And yeah, they had a pretty exciting game this weekend. So Connie is all smiles today. If you've got any questions, about these swing trades, don't hesitate to ask, or about, these webcasts in general. Connie's a pro. Know that options carry a high level of risk and aren't suitable for all investors. You have to apply for option trading privileges with Schwab, and not all will qualify. We use the Paper Money software application on the Thinkorswim desktop platform for our example trades. It's a brilliant place to learn, to become familiar with not only the trading platform and how to trace plays, but to make sure you understand the trading strategies that you are considering. One of the nuances or differences is that short option positions won't be assigned early. In Paper Money, that can happen in a live account. So we want to be aware of that. So we're going to do a very quick market overview, because at the market open, there is a webcast called Trader Talks, and they go over what's happening in the market in depth. I believe Ben Watson ran with that today. So go and check that out. So we're going to be super quick. I have a couple of announcements, and then we're going to go back and forth. A very little time today on managing existing trades. More time will be spent on new example trades, because, we don't have a lot of trades on right now compared to, what we typically have. Yeah. Okay. So, and just, so here's the announcement. One, there are 3 live events left until the end of this year. The next one will be a market drive in Anaheim the weekend before Thanksgiving. So November 22nd, be there, be square. I will be there along with Ben Watson and a cast of people from all over the country. And with these market drives, we will go from looking at globally what's happening, impact of tariffs and all of that, right down to looking at individual stocks. And we will feed both your body and your mind. We'll have the coffee on, we'll provide breakfast, lunch, and a great reception at the end of the day. Houston will be a 2-day event. And that is mid-December. And again, Ben and I will be at all of these through the end of the year. And the first day is advanced. There is intro to options, or intro to technical analysis. Second day, intro to options. And then we have an advanced options event the weekend before Christmas. And that's in Miami. And we also have, and you can go to schwab.com events, but you can also come to, and let me just bring this up over here, because I want to give a shout out. If you are considering advanced options and you're going like, there's no way with my family obligations I could go to Miami, although I was stunned at how many people were in Miami or wherever we had it last year right before the holidays. But there is a virtual workshop starting today. So if you go to schwab.com /coaching, and I will make a copy of this and I will put it in the chat, and it will also be in the show notes down below if you're watching this in the archives. But this advanced option workshop starts today at 5 o'clock Eastern, and it runs Monday through Thursday, and then there's a Q&A session on Friday morning. But it's free to attend, going to be run by the Ben Watson, along with Ray Kimbrell and Scott Durfee, and it is a great way to attend and a more in-depth training experience without having to leave your home. And we've got over 5,000 people registered for that. So these are extraordinarily popular. And if you've never done one, you may want to check it out. Okay, so anyway, there are my announcements on that. So back to our regular programming. So if we look at the S&P 500, is it hitting an all-time high today? It is not. But, it's pretty darn close. If you had a decent arm, you could throw and hit it from there. How about the NASDAQ? Oh boy, it is like 25,195 is the all-time high, intraday high on this index. I think if it were to close where it is right now at 25,150, that would likely be a closing all-time high. What was this one? Oh, 25,1. Oh, it closed at 25,136 on this day. So if it closed right where it is now, that would be a new all-time high for the NASDAQ. So, pretty darn bullish. When we look at our small caps, which is 2,000 of the smallest of the Russell 3000 companies, it too is within a stone's throw of an all-time high and gapped up on the open today, up 1.4%. And then how about the fourth one to round out our quick peek at the markets? It too up, over 0.75%, and within a stone's throw or a football throw, of the all-time high. So bullish, right? And then if we look at the VIX, it's now down below 20. And I put these lines on the VIX. I did a short video that I posted on X last week. And if you haven't seen it, like thousands of people have, go watch it. It's just like 6 interesting facts about the VIX that you may not have known. And then if you scroll back a little, I did one on the Russell 2000 where I learned things about the Russell 2000 I didn't know. And I shared some interesting facts on those. So go and look for those if you miss them. But they say that if the VIX is under 20, that, it's considered to be, more bullish in the market overall, more stable, that kind of thing. And so, today it's at 18.9. And then when it's over 30, Chicken Little is out typically running laps. Okay. So there's that. We placed a trade on Apple. So we've had one trade. If we come to our monitor tab, we have one trade that we have exited. So this is to close. At the price of this option, given we typically don't want to risk more than $500, that looks like it was a success. So we bought a call. So let's come and look at Apple. Okay, so our target, we did a swing trade on Apple. Okay, so we did a swing trade on Apple. It hit our target and we exited for $8. If we come and we look at our monitor tab here on Apple, and we don't have to come back 100 days, we could probably come back, 20. So we got in for $4.90 and out for $8. Now, just out of a morbid sense of curiosity, this was the November 21st, 260 call. So November 21st, 260 call, it's now trading at 11.45 or 11.60. So, but it did trigger an exit when it hit 258. It's now trading $6 above that. So are we like gnashing our teeth because, we didn't get out at 11? Well, that sure would have been nice, wouldn't it? But you know what? We might have not placed this trade at all. And so when we look at like, what did we achieve? And I'm just like, so this was our trade. It hit our target. I'm just waiting for my drawing tools to come up. Let me change the color. So how much did we make? Well, we made 310. or $3.10 a share times 100 shares. We did one contract because how much were we risking? Almost $500. And we had an exit in at a 50% loss. So we had an exit in around 245. But if it had gapped down, we could have lost more than that. So what was our return on risk? Is 310, divided by 490. And when did we place this trade? On the 13th. We got out the 20th. So we were in it for 1 week. And that return was 63%. A 63% return on our risk. And so, and how much did we make? We made $310 less the 65 cents transaction fee to get in and to get out. And so, we're happy campers. That's a base hit. Some might say, hey, that's a double. For anybody who's been watching a little baseball, it's come down to 3-3 between Seattle and the Blue Jays. I was just home north of Toronto, so there was a lot of Blue Jays on the TV. I was trying to watch some of the LA Dodgers, to be honest, but it would be cool if we could see sorry for you Seattle fans, but the LA Dodgers, play the Blue Jays in the World Series. That's kind of what I'm rooting for. So it's down to the last game today, but this one was a success. Now, the only other trades I want to review today, we're going to come to our activities and positions. We have 2 iron condors, one on CRM and one on CrowdStrike. We put these on, and both of these were up nicely first thing this morning, but it looks like CRM is kind of coming around. And what somebody said in one of the comments that I looked at this morning was, ooh, you're putting these on, the short puts are too close to where they're currently trading and there's too much volatility. But this is the beauty of paper money, is that you can, place these trades in your paper money and then just say, I would not have placed this trade in the notes, and just follow along and see how they work out. Another comment that was put in was like, I put in an example exit that once we have 80% of our max gain on this trade overall, we would consider closing out the entire position. But what we said was, if it comes up close to a resistance level, we might cancel that and buy back the short put side. And if it comes down to, the support level, we could then leg out of the call side. And so we'll just see how that goes. Right now, we want it to stay between 470 and 540. And even though it's up today, it's kind of going along swimmingly. But, if we had another couple of up days and it came up close to this 260, the value of this might be such that, we might want to cancel that original order and then buy this back, the short put side. Okay. So those are our 2 iron condors. Okay. So let's move on to the swing trades. So, and I get asked a lot how I found these example trades. And so I'm going to go over how I found them. So what I did was I brought up the NASDAQ 100, which is just a publicly traded watch list. I linked it to my chart. And then I just started looking for something that didn't have a blue dot beside it, or if it had a blue dot with a question mark, I would look at it. And what was I looking for? I was looking for stocks that were uptrending. So this Zscaler is up 66% year to date. So definitely uptrending, and has had a short-term pullback and appears to be bouncing. So would this qualify? And in our other account, we had done a buy right, and it looks like it was in the money and then expired out of the money on Friday. And one of this, so when it was up here past the 310, could it have been called out in your live account? It could have been. Often they are not. But, we would have been happy had that happened, but it didn't. So I'm going to take that off. And if we look at this and we say, okay, it's currently trading at 304.47. I could, and you may say, like, I don't like this call stuff. Well, we're going to compare buying a call versus buying the stock. And you may say, well, you know what? Like, I don't, we have 26,000 sitting in cash. Like, most of our account is sitting in cash. We have 32,577 in total, 26,000 of which is sitting in cash. So, and our max position size is 5,000. So could we take 5,000 and then divide that by 304.50 and just buy a few shares? Oops. 5,000 divided by 304.50. Why won't my zero come in? 304.50. Oh, dang it. Okay. I'm going to do this on my calculator. 5,000 divided by 304.50 because my online calculator doesn't seem to be working. Or, well, I'm not working well with it. I'm sure the calculator is just fine. So we could buy 16 shares. And you might say, well, if I buy 16 shares, is that worth it? Well, I have $26,000 sitting there doing not very much for me right now. Might I be better to put it to work for a short term, put in a target of, say, 319.50? So if I put in a target of 319, okay, you know what? I'm going to give up on this calculator. 319.50, and I subtract the current price, call it 304.50. I'm going to round up. If I could make $15 a share, would that be interesting? And if you say, well, $15 a share divided by 304.5, well, that's a 4.9% return. And how long do we intend to be in this trade? Like, maybe a week, maybe just a few days. And if we could make $15 a share times 24 shares, or no, this was 16 shares times 16 shares, that's $240. That's a base hit. So that's what we're going to do. Now, where are we going to put our exit? Well, it looks like this 30-day moving average, like it's come up once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. It's kind of been played kiss and tell with the 30-day in the last little while. So could we say here was our low, 295.24. So 295.24. I'm going to go 2% below that, 295.24 times 0.98. So 289.33. So how much are we risking? Well, if I take 304.50 minus that, we're risking about $15 a share to make $15 a share. And so if we're willing to take that risk, we'd come to our trade tab, right click, we're going to buy custom with a stop. And our stop, buy custom with an OCO bracket, because our target is going to be 319.50. 319.50. And this is 304.50. Oh, sorry. Must be Monday. 304. Yesterday was a very long day of travel. I will tell you that. 319. 319.50. And then our stop was going to be at 289.33. 289.33. So the stock is currently trading at 304.97. Oh, it's gone up a little. So call it 305. We want to get out at 320 or Actually, we said 319.50. And if it doesn't go according to plan, out at 289.33. We're going to make both of these good till canceled. Okay, confirm and send. And so we're going to put this in our stocks with targets. And this is a swing target. And we're going to compare this to a long call. So we're going to fire that in. Oh, now it's back to 304.55. I could have a delay on this. Let's just see if we'll get filled there. Okay, stocks with targets. I have to put my note in again. It's a swing target, and we're going to compare it to the long call. Okay, so we'll wait for that to fill. Now, if we wanted to do this with an option, we could come out to November. And this is a $300 stock. You may be saying, Barb, this isn't in our snack bracket. But if we come down here and we're shopping on the right side of the menu, because we don't want to risk more than about $550. So if we did this 330 strike, is it out of the money? Yes. The 305 strike is, the first strike in the money, right? Or is the at the money strike? So we're definitely out of the money at 330. But we've got lots of volume here. We've got a 40-cent bid-ask spread, so that's within the range of acceptability. And we're looking to buy this call. And again, we're buying custom with an OCO bracket. And our target is going to be based on the price of the stock. So we're going to make both of these good till canceled. Now with a swing target with a long option, we could do it the same way. But typically a swing target with a long option, we say, hey, if we've lost half the value, we want out. So 555 divided by 2 would be 277. So let's make it 275. So we're going to say if it goes to 275, we want out. And then we're going to hit our disappearing, reappearing sprocket. It's hiding on me, this. Guys, let me just see if I can get this figured out. Yes, just hold on. I'm going to go to a little break for a sec. All right. Okay, guys, I apologize. I have now signed into Thinkorswim 3 times, and this is kind of crazy, but it's not allowing me to put in this conditional order. And so I will do a short video on how to put in a conditional order. I will put it in the trade management mini sessions, and what we will do is go over these 3 trades, and we will go over these 3 trades, and I'll put in a target that's just an estimated target. Okay, but I will go back out and change those afterwards. And so with Zscaler, we wanted to get out if it hits 319.50. And so that is going to be our target. And we put that target in with the stock. And the option trade, we'll put that in as a conditional order, and we'll do that afterwards. And I'll just have to reboot my system to get that in. And on Friday, again, I'll go over how those were put in. Oh, sorry, I'm in the larger account here. But we can see here that we've now opened a position. Ooh, we bought 100 shares of Zscaler. Were we supposed to buy 100 shares? No, we were supposed to buy 16. So we're going to, we are going to go in and close that position out, because that's more, certainly a $30,000 position is way more than we can afford. And so we have an exit in place for Zscaler, but we're going to go in and we're just going to cancel that whole thing. Okay. So there's Zscaler, we're canceling. We should have just canceled the OCO group. But now we're going to go in because we bought more shares. And if we come and look at how much is available, we had 26,000, we're now in the hole. And so we're going to create a closing order and we're going to sell that one for the current price. Maybe we can get our mid price on that. Let's see if we can get 304. I don't remember what we bought it for. It's trading at 304.01. Okay, so we're out of that one. Okay, so we're going to come in and put that one in again properly, buy custom with our OCO bracket. Our target on this was $319.50. Okay. So our target is $319.50. And our exit is $289.33. And the number of shares, I'm going to hit this little firecracker and turn it into a paper clip. It should be 16 shares. And then if I just click anywhere on this, it will even up the quantities. So now we can see we have a position that's under 5,000. So we're buying 16 shares, not 100 shares. Okay. Yeah, I could have just sold 84. RG, like that would have been a good idea. So here's our stock with a target. This is a swing target. And we'll compare to the long call, which I will add afterwards. Once I can get my system working correctly. Okay. Okay, so we now have 16 shares. Okay. Now let's go in and look at our second example. And our second example is going to be NVIDIA. So NVIDIA up 33% today. This is a very heavy hitter. One of the largest companies in both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. And, it came up, hit a new intraday high back on October 10th, pulled back and now appears to be bouncing off this 30-day moving average. And we had, this down day, and then we had a Harami, which is considered to be bullish. Then we had a bullish engulfing, which is considered to be bullish. And now it's trading above the close on both of those days. And so if we just said, what if we traded it back up to this 195? And you might say, well, would that be worth it? Well, if you take 195 minus 1, if I rounded it up to 184, that's $11. So if we could make $11.35 on a 183.60 investment, that's 6.2%. Now, we could lose also. And if we put our stop 2% below this low, that's 177.29. times 0.98, because we're expecting it to go up, but we know that we could be wrong. So if we put our stop at 173.74, what are we risking? Well, we're risking, about $10 a share, just under, for the opportunity to make a little bit more than that. So we're going to come to the trade tab, and then how many shares could we buy? We could buy about 27 shares. So again, we're going to right click, buy custom with an OCO bracket, current price 304, it's saying 37. Let's see if we can get it a little closer to that, where it's currently trading, maybe 20. And what's our target going to be? Our target is 195. Oh, sorry. What have I got here? It's my apologies, guys. This isn't linked. It's supposed to be NVIDIA. So I signed in again. I'm having a day of it, I'm telling you. Okay, 183.58, that's 2 cents away. 188, we want this to be 195. And we want this to be 173.74. So about $10 below, 73.74. And this quantity should be 27. Oh. I think I need to go back to bed and get up again and try the whole day over. Okay, so 183.58 is the price we're getting in at. 195 is recent high, just shy of the recent high. We could make it 195.50 because, this day, how high did it come? 195.30. Yeah, we can leave it at 193, I guess. But I mean, you can, pick your own price. Thing is, if you get too aggressive, sometimes it comes up so close and then turns around and pulls back again. And so again, we're looking, we're hoping, the plan is to make $11.42 a share to the upside. But we could have an exit at $9.84 a share to the downside, and so that's risking 270-ish dollars. And we said we don't want to risk more than 500. And we also don't want a position size bigger than 5,000. So it meets those criteria. And this is another swing target. And we'll compare to the long call. Okay, so that's NVIDIA. So we've got that teed up. Let's look at PDD. So with PDD, do we see something similar here? Now, whenever I've drawn a line, I'll often back up to see why I drew that line. So we can see we had kind of this big double bottom, or some might even call this like a cup and handle, where we had the cup and the handle. And if that went from 95 to 122, the expectation might be for, about a 20, well, if I round that up to 96, about a $26 move to the upside. And we certainly haven't seen a $26 move, but what if, it came back to retest where it broke out from here? What if it just went back up to around that 136.50 mark? It's now at 131.50, and you say, well, that's not that much. But again, if we could make like something in the neighborhood of $5 and you divide that by our 131.60, oh, dang it. $5, it's probably around 4%, 131.60. 3.8%. And how long are we planning to be in? Well, the expectation is a short period of time. So if we made our target on this, PDD, we're going to make our target on this 137. or sorry, 136.50. And our exit, we're going to put 2% below this low. And this low was 122.92 times 0.98. So our exit is going to be 120.46. And how many shares can we afford to buy? I'm just going to do this on my calculator. 5,000 divided by 131.6. So we can buy 38 shares. So trade tab, right click, buy custom with our OCO bracket. We're going to make this 38 shares. I'm going to click anywhere on these lines to make them even. Our target, 136.50, basically the previous high, 136.50. And if it gets up to 136.25 and looks like it's going to turn around and go back down, could we adjust our exit? Absolutely. And our exit at 120.46. Now this one, we're risking more than we can potentially make, than our target is to make, right? Because we've got $11 worth of risk and we're only going for $5 worth of gain. And so some might say, well, I'm not going to place that trade because it's a disproportionate amount of risk for the reward. Swing trade, and we'll compare that to the long call also. Okay. Yeah, the reason we're getting all these pings is, because I've got 3 sets now of Thinkorswim open, which normally, the system won't allow you to have more than one at a time. So what did we do today? Well, we did a trade on NVIDIA, a swing trade where we bought 27 shares of stock. We did a swing trade on PDD, Pinduoduo, and a swing trade on Zscaler. Okay, so we did those 3 swing trades. I will put in 3 accompanying long call swing trades, and we're going to have to go out of the money on some of these, to buy something that is in our snack bracket, which is at around the $500 price range or $5 a share price range, because some of these stocks are quite expensive. And so we have to go further out of the money. But the question is that worthwhile? Yeah, like Connie saying boo on Monday glitches. So I apologize for the glitches. And it would have been nice to put in the accompanying trades in class, but we'll get them in and then we'll be able to talk about those again on Friday. Lots of great content still to come. James Boyd up next with trading technically. I'm not sure of the exact name on the class, but stay tuned for that. And don't forget that you have the opportunity to join the class at the end of the day on advanced options with Ben Watson and the rest of the team. So hit the like button if you haven't done that already. It helps move things up in the algorithms on YouTube. Hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. That's in the bottom right corner. And then I want to thank Connie for her assistance and patience, to the guys behind the scenes for helping me out when Thinkorswim, refused to play along. And I'll reboot my system and hopefully we'll be all systems go come tomorrow for getting started with technical analysis. Guys, have a really awesome day. Don't forget to follow Connie and I on X, Connie Hill CS, and Barb Armstrong CS. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.